My nuts, my giant nuts, my ginormous nuts. My nuts are massive. I have massive nuts. My mom says that I have massive nuts. My mother told me, hey there, you have big nuts. You have the biggest nuts I've ever seen. Out of all my offspring, you have the biggest nuts. That is what my mother told me. And my mom has never lied to me, apart from the one time where she said that she loves me. Okay, so the audio works. Hey there, friends. Welcome. Well, oh man. Oh, I think I have COVID. Oh, I think I honestly have a little bit of COVID. I might have caught it licking all those doorknobs, or or banging all those hookers. Actually, funny thing. One of the things that I wrote down as a note to myself is I live in a very weird part of town. It's not necessarily hood, but it's not great either, right? So there's an Airbnb that people rent down in this giant building nearby. And the part that I find a little bit odd is I've been walking every day. So I've been walking, I think, 5 miles a day just to burn some calories, which I completely nullified by getting a dragon drink from Starbucks, but that's beside the point. So there's one of those electrical boxes, and I see the local crackhead. We have a local crackhead. That's the way this neighborhood works. She comes out from behind the bushes with one of the employees of the hotel or the Airbnb, like one of the people that work at the actual building. I see her come out. So I'm thinking this guy just probably got the best head of his life, only because, well, she doesn't have teeth because of the crack and the meth. What's interesting about this particular neighborhood is that I've seen transactions take place with in front of the cops. So you'll see one of the crackheads hand a little baggie and a person hand money through the window of the gas station, and the cop doesn't do anything because they don't want to do the paperwork. They don't want to do the paperwork. So welcome. This is what's today? Today's not Monday. Today's Thursday, but it's the first. If you're not from the United States, in 3 days we celebrate our independence by drinking way too much Bud Light and lighting potentially illegal fireworks. That's how we celebrate it, and I can't wait to do so. But this particular stream, I just wanted to do because I haven't done one in a bit, and I reached a little bit of a milestone in my channel. Somebody said nip slip. Yeah, my nipple sticks out of this Bud Light shirt. Not Bud Light, sorry, Budweiser shirt. I got this from PacSun, and I enjoy the nipple kind of popping out. I have hairy nipples too, by the way. I have kind of hairy nipples, but that's beside the point. I don't like the way they look in camera, by the way. I don't like how they look on camera. My nipples are not photogenic, and neither is this little tuft of hair. I just took a shower, and you're supposed to dry your hair before you wear any sort of cap or put anything on it, but I didn't do that. But I reached a milestone on my channel yesterday. So yesterday was June 30th, and I started my channel June 30th, 2016. So 5 years ago, I started my channel. I put the first video out, which was a little bit of an ad commercial, something I was called, I think, Better Your Life Today. And it was just a 30-second little clip. And that was what I decided to put on the channel. And then I made the first episode a little while after that. But it was still 5 years ago that I decided to take the plunge into YouTube. And I put a little bit of a fun video. It wasn't fun. Honestly, it took me about an hour to shoot that video because I kept crying. I kept crying. I'm a pussy, and I'm a softie when it comes to these things. And there was one line in particular that I said, and nothing was scripted, but it was just coming out. But it just took a while to come out. And I said I didn't want to disappoint the little guy, and I had a picture of myself as a kid, and one of the videos that my brother shot when I was younger, and I couldn't go through that without bawling out of control. And that was a hard video to shoot. So 3 minutes, or sorry, it was 2 minutes and 1 second, but it took about an hour and 15 minutes to shoot that dumb little video. And initially, the idea that I had was I wanted to put a projector to project the image on my face, right? But then I did that, and it didn't look good on camera, so that took another time, another little while to do that, which is kind of annoying. But it says 50K in 5 years. Shitter. Yeah, I know. 50K 5 years, 10K pretty much every year, essentially. But I don't care. I don't care. I think I'm happy with 53K. If I find success, I'll take that. Obviously, the goal is 100K, so I could get that little plaque. But apart from that, I really don't care. I'm happy with where I'm at. Obviously, if I could get more people on the academy, if I could get more people just watching the little YouTube videos that I make some time on. I was happy with the psychic video. I was happy with the psychic video, the way that turned out, and I really like that format. And I might be going forward with that more often from now on, just doing more video structured like that. But honestly, I'm happy, and I'm still happy that after 5 years, I could still be doing this stuff. And I mentioned it in the video, and I didn't want to get into too much detail because everyone has issues. Like, I'm not gonna give you a sob story. We all have fucking problems. We all have shit that we go through. We're not unique just because we have problems, which is a human trait that we all have. That we think, oh man, these are only things that happen to me. No, it happens to everybody. We all take painful shits, right? But as far as what I mentioned in the video, it was definitely not an easy way to get to this point. It was not a bed of roses, but again, I wouldn't trade anything for it. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't have modified anything. I'm happy with the way everything went, even if it might have ended in certain things not being the way I wanted them to at the time. But either way, 5 years, and well, here's the 100 more seasons of Pig Cake. Here's to 117 more seasons of terrible magic tutorials with borderline racist connotation and fucking being 97 and setting up a camera with shitty lights because I'm too cheap to buy aperture and actually getting legitimate likes. If you see the fucking light that I have right now, it's an umbrella with like the most busted because this has survived probably 3 or 4 moves, and it's just busted. But you know what? It does the job. It does the fucking job. Let me look through the comments. I apologize. I just wanted to go on a little diatribe on the previous video. Impunity says Canada Day canceled. Too many dead kids. Kim Jong Un official says what's going on with ham radio. We're just well right now we're obviously still gonna continue, but we're Daniel who's on the chat. We're waiting the what do you call this for him to improve his internet so that I don't necessarily have to travel to his place, which is approximately 3 hours away, just to do a fucking 1 hour episode of ham radio. So we're gonna work on that, and hopefully that'll not have as many internet issues as we had previously. So that's here. And by studio setup, I mean literally just setting up the fucking green screen. So it's gonna be fun. But that's what we're waiting on. So it's not dead. Trust me, I wish it was dead. Oh, let's see. Yeah, impunity. I don't know what the fuck is going on. They found way more the other day too. I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're referring 9 million dead kids found in school mass graves. Jesus. Okay, that's rough. See, we just had a building collapse here in this in South Beach, not South Beach. I think it's called Surfside. We had a building collapse, which was quite the shitty thing because our codes to buildings are the strongest in the United States because of the hurricanes we get. So they could tolerate pretty much up to Category 5 hurricanes of sustained, I forgot what the mile per hour wind is, but ridiculously high winds our buildings can tolerate. But we have the worst management in the country. So you might have strong buildings that come up initially, but then you might have a retarded manager come in or an inspector and say, you guys are doing great, fantastic on the building. And there's a giant crack going down the side of it. So that's what we dealt with here. And I think there's 159 people missing. So it's not a fun situation, but that's what we're dealing with. Obviously, compared to finding a mass grave of a bunch of kids, that's a little bit rough, but that's what we're dealing with now. Adds to the ambiance, says Graham Wilder. Our country going to burn half in drought and dumb people have fireworks. That is true. Yeah, there's no. I think we should get more licenses to more things. Like we should have Mind you, this is coming from a slightly libertarian individual that I think everything should be fine, right? Or most things should be fine. But I think that we should have a license for everything. You should be able to. You should need a license to walk, to be a pedestrian. You should need a license to fucking a more stringent license to drive. You should have a license to shop. I think that we're too retarded. We can't rely on ourselves and logic. You would assume too many. You would assume that people would understand logic and and let me do this just based on what would be the logical approach. But we're incapable of that in mass. So I think we should have more a necessity for more licenses for just normal, ordinary things. The weird one that I don't understand still to this day is there's a lot of states that don't have self-pumping gas. That's a thing that I've never understood. That there are certain people that don't know how to pump their own gas, which to me is retarded. Because in 2021, I don't know if you've experienced this, you have to, where you've now become trained to work at any grocery store. People don't fucking work in grocery stores anymore. I'm there scanning everything on my own, and I now work without any fucking extended holiday with a 401k. I don't have a 401k, but yet I'm here at Publix ringing out my own shit, right? And it's the same thing with pumping your own gas. How do you not know how to pump your own gas? It's intuitive. You put the card, you take it out, you wait for the thing to authorize, and you press the appropriate gas type that you want. Shitty, medium, or premium. And if you have diesel, you get diesel. You press the button, you put it in, and you hold it. It's intuitive. It's not rocket surgery, right? And mind you, this is coming from a guy that just said we should have a license and the government should be in more control of shit, which is funny. I like self scan. Yeah, I'm also a fan of self scan and the when you go to like McDonald's, the little screens, so you don't have to interact with people. And also, the other one that I like is I don't like to deal with what do you call this? If I have like a modification on my shit, I don't want to have to be like, oh hi, yeah, let me get a cheeseburger, but could you add bacon and take out this? I just want to be able to go to the machine and be like, all right, let me get a McDouble with no bread. I've done that before, and it's actually quite delicious. You get a McDouble, no bread, fuck those carbs, and then you just get the rest of it, and you're good to go. I don't want to have to say that to a person, so I rather deal with that. By the way, you guys like this? I bought a shitty box on Amazon for mics, and I thought it would be nice to have on the microphone here, and I just put a bunch of the stickers that Butcher the Pig sent me in one of his fucking packages surrounding it. Look at that production value. Reinvesting into the show and the channel. Daniel's like, hey man, you should get a Canon RP. You should get a Canon RP or Canon R. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get a Canon R or Canon RP. I was gonna say when the views are appropriate for that. So, for example, when the views are at the Canon R or Canon RP level. Right now, I'm barely at the phone level. Right, I'm barely at the phone level. I shouldn't have to use a camera to shoot my videos because I'm not at that level yet. So it should be view appropriate. Uh, what's this? Are you on censored TV or is that another pig cake? That's another pig cake. I have no association with censored.tv. What? Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Bassmaster 911? You must be crazy. You must be insane. That's not me. Somebody's appropriating my name. Well, oddly enough, I've gotten messages from people of showing me like, oh, this guy called himself Pig Cake in like a fucking one of these online games. Like there's a group called whatever, and it has my logo on it. And then some people will tell me, hey, somebody's using your name here. And then there's another guy on Instagram named pigcakee, right? Pigcakee, and it's just pictures of a male ass. It's not mine because I have a little bit of a dump truck. For real, you should be qualified to have kids. Yeah, I've been saying that forever. You should be qualified to have kids. Some people are not ready for kids. I've used the control shuffles to help cheat at poker. As an Asian, we use Hindu shuffles, and you got the best stuff out there. Thank you. Thank you, Cameron Ken. Although you guys use your Hindu, you guys shuffle like this. You guys don't do, you guys do the shuffle from Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys shuffle like this with your Hindu shuffle, which makes it a little bit more challenging to control cards, right? So if you want to control the five of hearts, You have to do it pretty much like that, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. But I like this better. Reminds me of watching fucking Yu-Gi-Oh from back in the day and seeing how they mix cards, and I thought that was relatively cool as opposed to the American Hindu way of doing it, per se, which I'm using incorrectly. That's crazy. I hate all of that content over there. Yeah, Base Master. Me too. Me too. I hate that as well. It's, fuck Ryan Rivera. Let's see. Pausing in the Academy and the Clip Palm to tune in, says JT. That's a fun one. I mean, the Clip Palm is what I like about it is that essentially it's like an automatic palm, right? So you have like 1,000 uses for it, right? That's one, which I just did terribly. But if you hand off the deck, right, you could come back naturally and come to a resting position, have them mix the deck, and when you take the deck back, you could just deposit the card on top as you spread it. So it's a very versatile palm in that sense. And one thing that I always recommend is whatever move you learn, try it with the deck face up and face down. And you're going to be impressed as to what you could concoct with the deck face up and face down, just doing the same move. A good example of this is Gary Roulette's Touch Force, for example. I hate to be virgin-y here, but you mentioned it. Gary Roulette's Touch Force, for example. It does a completely different effect when you have the card face up than when you have the cards face down. I'm sorry for having this penis sticking out here, but I need for it to be able so I can monitor my video here. But the clip palm is definitely one of those fun, versatile ones. And there's also a bunch of different ways to get on it. I'm not a fan of the traditional way of doing it. A traditional way is a little bit challenging for my taste. But if you do it as you come down with a dribble or something like that, it's definitely an easier palm to get into. Now, you're going to get into difficulty when you want to palm multiple cards. That's when it gets a little bit more challenging. But if you're doing it for one single card, it's very easy to just to come down for dribble, squared up, and be ready to clip palm it. And also Marlowe, now that you got me on the virgin tip. Marlowe has this wonderful color change that's this thing, right? Which is terrible when you're changing a fucking 9 of hearts to an 8 of hearts. But I don't even know if it looks good on camera here. But you're essentially showing this card, and as you drop it, it changes to the 4 of clubs. And it looks even better when you shake the card like this. Let me see if I can do this right. So you shake the card like this. You keep shaking it with the other hand, and it looks like it changes as it's being transferred to the other hand. So let me see if I could do that appropriately. Let's see how that looks with the delay. Let's see how that looks with the delay. I'm still at the part where I fucked up. Okay. No, that looked like shit. Okay, hold up. Let's see. Okay, 8 of hearts. There you go. Okay. Yeah. As long as you don't hold your hand there looking like absolute troglodyte. Let's see. Plus 300 virginity points awarded to H and H. Christopher Lewis says, any new props? Not really, man. I haven't really bought anything in forever. I haven't bought any magic props or anything. I was looking at wish.com stuff just for fun. Just like to do some videos on that. But I really haven't bought anything new. I've been looking at some stuff, though, like Murphy's. That fly gimmick looks pretty interesting. That ring flight one that they had. It looks like a upgraded version of, what do you call this, of the one from Illusionist. It's where you hand them the keys and you take a ring and you put it in your hand, and then there's a ring now drawn in your hand, and you could take it off and throw it, and it's on the keychain. I thought that was interesting. Virginity question. Have you seen Daryl's Encyclopedia of Card Slides? The videos are old as fuck, but there's so much great shit. Yeah. That's one of my favorite sets ever. He has two. He has Encyclopedia of Card Slides and Card Revelations, and they're both tremendous. And it's just nuts because you imagine this guy sweating under the lights in that suit, going over about 1,000 different slides. And I'm sure every time you see it, you're going to see something new and find something of value and of interest looking at that set. Fucking Daryl, man. R.I.P. R.I.P. Oh, I almost lost the challenge. It's only been how long? Okay, I heard screaming. That's great. I almost lost the challenge right there, but I didn't. All right, I didn't lose it. Okay. Let's say straight up, having won the bar competition for an entertainer slot along with Busky and Patron, I'm making as much as I was running the store now. Hey, man. Okay. I hope that doesn't come out on the microphone, but it sounds like there's a situation taking place with the dog next door. That's great. Let's see the accuracy and the strength of the Rode mic to capture noises around me. I really hope it doesn't. I think the Tenkai palm and the Gambler's palm are the only palms you must know. Well, the full palm is a good one. I hate to be so virginy talking about palms on a video like this. Um, but depends on the context. Obviously, you're going to have more reliability with a what do you call this? With a full palm, you're gonna have more reliability than something like a lateral tenkai, just because the angles are kind of fucked when it comes to that. But as far as having tiny little hands like me, that I have shrimp seller's hands, obviously a tenkai palm is a godsend, and so is the lateral palm. Just because of that, would you say the gambler's cup are the other ones that you must know? Well, I don't think you must know. I think I've mentioned it recently on the academy that there's two schools of thought, right? You have the school of thought of somebody who only wants to learn a couple moves and they learn them extremely well. And then you have the other opposite, which is you want to learn as many moves as possible. So, whatever the situation is, you always have a move ready for that particular situation. Now, they both have downsides, right? One is that you only know 3 or 4 moves, but you know them very well. The other one is you know a lot of moves, but you might not necessarily know them well as you would if you only focus on a couple moves. So that's a little bit virginity. Stupid post made on magicians only on Facebook. A stripper becomes a magician's assistant. Is that a career upgrade, downgrade, or lateral move? How many virgin points is that? Oof. Well, here's the thing: you post something like that, and you'll get the white knight magicians coming out of the woodworks, coming out saying, "Hey, what's going on? What's this? This is sexist." Unbelievable in 2021. You're going to compare a magician's assistant to a stripper? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you? You're going to have that whole diatribe. And you go, it's just a joke, dude. You can make a joke about men if you want, same as women. In reference to how magicians pretty much do none of the work and the assistants do 99% of the work. You can make any jokes you want, but the moment you cut into something that somebody could argue about, looks that's when you get into iffy territory. Christopher Lewis says The Fly by Marcos Waldemar looks good. That's the one with the prediction, right? Is that the one also with the ring and the actual prediction that they could essentially name any place and it comes out in a little thing in their keychain? Is that the right one? That's a dope one. If that's the case, I was interested in that, but I don't know if I want to get it. I mean, it's just probably gonna be on my keychain and I never use it. By the way, Jabrizi forced a girl to eat a card for a card trick. I was checking out most popular videos. Yeah, that's gonna be one of my other videos. I have a couple other ones that I'm planning here. That I already did. Magic voice, like gay magic voice. But I realized what I should have done is cringe magic, right? Cringe magic. Now here's the thing, right? David Blaine innovated street magic, in 1997 or whatever, late 96. Copperfield innovated stage magic on TV, right? And the death defying stunts. I think 2021 has been innovated by or inundated by cringe magic. And you put hashtag magic on Instagram or on TikTok or anywhere you want. You just put hashtag magic and just scroll. And the amount of times that you just go, oh, oh, it's rough. There are some magicians that are doing social media, I think, tremendously well. And they kill it and they're unique and they're different and they're showing the reactions and everything is great, good quality. But then you have the ones that are just it feels like you just bit into a lemon. It's that sort of vibe that it almost feels like there's no difference between you watching them and you grabbing a lemon or a lime and just biting onto it. You have to make the face. You have to turn your face into an asshole essentially from it. And I challenge you just to go on TikTok and go uh, write hashtag magic, look at all the posts and scroll. And the challenge is not to cringe. That's the challenge. Don't cringe. And I can almost guarantee you're gonna last like maybe 4 videos until you go, oh, I'm about to show you. The Magic Sean or Sean does magic. Every time I see that guy, I just go, oh man, oh boy, that's a rough one. No joke. For the first round of the competition at the bar, I had Liz wear her lowest cut T-shirt, and she was my assistant for card to cleavage. They lost their shit. That's a good thing about bar stuff, though. You could kind of play around with the audience. You could kind of play around with that vibe, and you could really be racy and edgy, and you don't have to necessarily cover it as if it were like a corporate show or for kids. You know, because it's a bar. It's supposed to be, gross by nature. People are drinking. They're inhibitions are down. But then imagine you do the same patter for a fucking kids show, and then you end up with a picture on the fucking register. Like, no, I swear I didn't do anything. One of those. Nice rocket notebook. Yeah, this one's great, man. The local Office Max was closing down, and they had a sale, and I decided to pick one of these up. They have a couple different notebooks. You could actually erase this one, so you write it, and then they have an app, and you could scan it. But the other one that's nuts is you can microwave certain notebooks. They have a notebook that you could microwave. So, I mean, these are like ones that I have. So the first couple pages are like just ideas for magic, and then these are just notes for videos. Funny enough, I think the notes for, let me see if I could find the notes for the fake psychics, right? So the last official video that I put on the channel, these were the notes. So I just had TikTok videos, name a card, and use it as an example of blanket technique. Rate all of the people, but don't call attention to it. So I was just rating the chicks and the dudes and not call attention. I thought that was a funny joke. But they have a version of this notebook that you can microwave, and the ink erases from the pages. And also a picture of Mario here. But you have it's great. So you could definitely just use this and scan it. So I'm always erasing it and putting it. So definitely a good one if you want to take good notes and mix analog with digital in 2021. Now, let me go back to my live stream notes. I have actual notes for live streams, believe it or not. Was the inability to microwave our notebooks? As somebody, well, you can microwave anything technically, but this one has a purpose. It brings one of those friction pens, and you could erase. So you could write on it, right? And then if you want to save the contents of the sheet, you could just take a picture of it with the app. It scans it. It has all the text. It pulls the text. And then if you want to reuse the pages, you can microwave the notebook and all the ink erases. So now you have a fresh notebook that you could start over, and if you want to save it. Me, I don't bother with them scanning it. I just write and then I erase it. So it's a nice way to do it. But I highly recommend these. They're called Rocketbook. That's a little bit. But look at your virginity, Zach Payne, recognizing it. Let's see. Bass Master says, I would say it's a downgrade. Strippers make more. Yeah. I forgot what I was looking at recently, but boy, man, it's astonishing. And the best part is it's cash. It's like running a coin laundry. You could report whatever you want, essentially. Oh man, I had another tough year. I had another tough one. Meanwhile, you raked in 8 digits. Let's see. I love the gay magic hands and voice video. Yeah, it's factual, but I feel like I jumped the gun. I really should have focused on cringe magic. I have two videos coming up that I want to focus a little bit of time on. One is cringe magic, which might be coming out maybe Saturday, and the other one is I guess I mean, might as well just say it here. I love, by the way, the thought of like, no, man, I don't want to say the titles or the stuff just in case, maybe someone's, I don't, nobody's gonna do it. But one of them is how to improve your magic in less than a second, right? How to improve your videos, like your magic on videos or magic on Zoom in less than a second. And it's doing this. You ready? That's it, right? So 90% of the fucking magicians that I watch record themselves or do content online or do Zoom shows, they're looking at the monitor. And I've ranted about this before, but they look at the monitor and you see their eyes on themselves because they're full of shit. So I want to do a little clickbait video as to just literally doing this. You ready? Look at that. Now I'm talking directly to you. I'm engaging you, the viewer, even though the viewer right now is the camera on the phone, right? It makes a world of a difference if you're doing this and this. This, if I'm looking at the monitor, I have a massive ego. I have to look at myself because my ego is immense. And if you look at the TikTok hashtag magic, 90% of the people are doing this because their egos are massive and they have to look at themselves. And they can't do this, do the trick, have that engagement, and then look at the video and make sure that everything went well. Gross. So that's going to be one of the ones. If you have any cringe magic recommendations, let me know. I have quite a bit. I have a influx of fucking videos that are definitely on the category of magic cringe. But oh boy, fuck man, and it's the worst part is that what it is, it's literally scientific because the same thing is applied to music, the same thing is applied to every other art, but magicians have now taken this loud, abrasive style of presenting stuff on social media because you need to get attention now faster than ever. Before on YouTube, you had 10 seconds to get somebody's attention. Now it's 5 seconds. And on TikTok, it's even less because all you have to do is get somebody's attention so they don't do this. How long does that take? Less than a fucking second. So you have to get their attention enough so that they just move their thumb away. That's the psychology behind TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts. So you have to get their attention enough so they go, oh no, I'll watch this. And the way they do that is going, I'm about to show you this. And it's this loud, overcolored, the saturation bar is from here, and they just pull the knob all the way to the right. I hate it. I really do hate it. No audio. Yeah, definitely there's audio. Overcolored, the saturation. Look at that. Is from here, and they just pull the knob. Look at that. There's definite audio. You fuck. Off the cuffs. When you react to cringe magic, please explain how to fix it. Well, it's very easy to fix it. Be a human, right? I think. Well, okay. All right. Let me kind of go back on that. Now, the reason they do that is because it works, right? But I feel, and mind you, I'm the type of person that will sell out instantly. You know, if given the opportunity, I'd sell out in a heartbeat. However, I do think that maybe you should try the humanistic approach, right? Approach it as a human, or maybe as a parody, or do it different and stand out that way, right? Don't just copy something that you've seen work and then not be true to yourself. I feel like that's why it's been 5 years and I'm still at 50K, you know, because I've been true to myself and I haven't necessarily sold out and done that style where it's, mass appeal, but, will get me those views. I like doing stuff that is going to be true to myself, stuff that I enjoy producing. And if that's not necessarily going to have mass appeal, well, then that's the nature of what I'm doing. So that's something that I think is just an introspective thing, I guess, for lack of a better term. What are your thoughts on Ramsey's vids of reacting to bad magic? Yeah, here's the thing though. I hate that he took those down, right? Because they couldn't take criticism. That's what essentially that tells me. You should be able to take criticism. Everybody's prone to criticism. I get criticized on a daily basis. I get made fun of on a daily basis for various things: height, um, massive penis, huge dick. Right? These are things I get made fun of on a day-to-day basis. But he took those videos down because like, oh, these magicians, no, they gave me bad feedback because they couldn't take the criticism. Well, here's the thing: if you want to be criticized less, right? How about you don't put out stuff that could be easily criticized, right? And again, I've been at fault of that. I've put out stuff that's very easy to criticize and very easy to say, yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's not cool. But at the same time, I'm not complaining if you criticize. I welcome it. I welcome it. I remember one of the first interactions I had where I put a video out that was in regard to reaction magicians and the ones that put the little, like they put themselves in the box and they just watch a video and they go, ah, that's cool, right? And it was Edward Tordor who did that and got really popular on YouTube where he would react to that and he responded back, right? And he hit me back. And he hit me back pretty hard. And he was like, oh, shit. And he didn't hold back. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I like. I fucking love that, right? I criticize somebody, they criticize me back. That's how it should be. But instead, Ramsey had these wonderful videos of reacting to bad magic. I think it was objectively bad magic that he was reacting to. And then he took those down and stopped doing that tremendous series because they didn't like being criticized. They sent him email saying, dude, I don't like that you fucking had an opinion. I don't like that you had an opinion. Fuck that. Sorry. Seems to be a lot more magic and magic teachers around these days, a lot more accessible. Back when I started learning, there was LNL and Jay Sank in the 21 card trick and nothing else has happened to die. Same with me. LNL Publishing was a godsend. I still have most of the DVDs. A lot of them are at my mom's house. A lot of VHS tapes, a lot of old stuff that's in storage, probably rotting away. But I still remember those, and those are probably the classics on classics. Those are, if you just get a couple of those LNL tapes from Daryl, Bill Malone, just those classics, you have a lifetime of magic without ever having the need to look at anything ever again. You have enough stuff to be able to work on it and make a living on, or just do as a hobbyist forever, pretty much with those. So that's definitely a good baseline, or sorry, a good foundation to have had. I'm curious, who's happier, the first video pig cake or present pig cake? I know you talked about losing jobs in a relationship. Life better now? Yeah, I've learned a lot. Not to get too again on myself, but it is a stream that I put up. But I learned a lot through, losing jobs, losing relationships, losing connections. I've learned a lot through those, and I've learned a lot, dedicating myself and taking a gamble, because this is a fat gamble. When I got let go from my previous gig, I had a couple different opportunities that I could have taken up, but instead I took a fat gamble and said, you know what? Let me see if I could try to make it on my own. Let me see if I could do this on YouTube, on Patreon, and see if I can make it work. And luckily through the academy and YouTube and stuff, I made it work, and it wasn't easy. And I feel like it's definitely, I had a lot of growth, and I feel like the pig cake from now could beat the shit out of the pig cake back then. The pig cake from back then was complacent. He was comfortable. He was, especially when I had at least a job that I thought was a long term job. Uh, that pig cake was very complacent and very comfortable, and I feel like the uncomfortable, like, part of my life that I had to go through, that really helped me grow way more than anything else. So being uncomfortable, being struggling, all that. So I would not change it for the world. I would definitely not change any of that, because I've learned so much from that. Let's see, Hungry and Hungover says, I think the problem with Ramsey's videos was that he had a massive following who then proceed to go to the videos and clown on those people who had next to no subs. Kind of shitty thing to do. That's true, but you really can't control your audience. You really can't control them. At no point did he say, "Oh, go to these people and harass them." Right? All he did was criticize them. Now, granted, you do have a level of responsibility when you do have that big of an audience, but at the same time, criticism is criticism. And if your platform is, you put a video, or somebody put a video out, and it's objectively bad or cringy, and I put a video out saying, "Hey, look at this. This is objectively bad or cringy," come back at me, right? Come back at me. That's all I'm saying. Luckily, I don't think I have that problem, because I don't have the mass appeal. I don't have the massive audience that he has. So technically, I'm always punching up, right? So I'm always punching up. I could make fun of Sean Does Magic on TikTok and say that that guy's a cringe magnet. And every time I look at one of those videos on TikTok, I want to grab a firearm and self defense myself, right? I could say that because I'm punching up. And then he could be like, yeah, but I'm about to make a lot of money doing a shitty trick. And by the way, they're always doing the same tricks. They're always doing the same fucking tricks, by the way. The Oreo that grows. They're always doing the pen that changes into a pencil. The fucking, I swear to God, if I see one more magician doing this fucking trick, I don't have it, by the way, but doing this trick, you know exactly the one I'm talking about. I have two queens here. Watch. I'm about to hypnotize you. Doing this thing, I can't even fucking do it. But they do their little thing where it twirls, and it's like a twirl thing, and then they do this. If I see one more magician do that on Instagram, I might just have to find them and use my self-defense abilities to take them down. I hope that they don't make it out. So that's one less witness. I can't zoom in. I wish I could zoom in. That would have been a good zoom in moment. Let's see this. I have a growth, says Bourbonic. Okay. I hope that's not a growth that's a tumorous, and I hope that's just a growth in your pants. JT says, so get Bill Malone stuff and LNL, and I don't no longer need the Academy. Technically, yeah, that's true. That's true. If you get those, you won't need the Academy. But the Daryl stuff is wonderful. I'm trying to think of like really good baseline foundational stuff that would really set you on a lifetime of being able to just do magic and just have literally one volume of shit. And Daryl's encyclopedia, I think that is probably the best, just because there's so much. And Daryl's very good when it comes to breaking things down. He's not too detailed when it comes to breaking stuff down. So, for example, there's a control that's one of these bits, right? You take the card out, you jog them down here, and then you cut them to the top like that, right? I did it terribly, mind you. Let me see if I could do that correctly. But you have pretty much a couple cards out jogged. I'm exposing it here, right? But you do one of these, and you could control the two cards to the top. The way he explained it wasn't necessarily detailed, but it was enough for you to get it and pick it up using your own little touches, right? Because everybody's going to have their own little touches. Everybody's going to have their own little ways to do things. So the way he taught it was that he would give you the foundation, and you would be able to figure out with whatever works best for you. I think it was this, by the way. I'm completely doing it incorrect. But you would insert two cards here. You would jut it out from the bottom. You would push this down like this, and then you cut it, and then both cards, or all four cards, or however many you want to control, are to the top. That's just an example. All right, I'm using that as an example. But he would show you just enough so that you get it, and then you have to do the rest on your own, which is what I loved about his style of teaching. And again, R.I.P. OG. OG. Oh, whew, man, I almost lost it again. Gosh, I lost the challenge. It hasn't even been an entire hour. I don't even know how long it's been, but I almost lost it here. Again, it's Daryl, right? I feel like Daryl might be the blackest magician of all time. People are like, oh, we don't have enough African American magicians. Well, we lost the best in Daryl. Daryl is definitely the most OG. Uh, Such a struggle not to be able to say the word. Let's see. If I meet a magician and personally I think is doing cringy magic, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you are shit. You're funny because you're shit." Haha. No way. Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I think a lot of magicians would do better if people were honest. And I don't want to get flack for this, but I feel like this happens a lot with historically female magicians. That you have a lot of female magicians that are not necessarily doing good magic, but they're doing magic and they happen to be female. And they are like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I've never seen anybody do a gimmick card trick like that before. I've never seen anybody do a snap change like you before. Queen, yes. And then you see the comments, and all the comments are saying this is amazing, this is tremendous, and it's not really, right? So there's that say, and that happens a lot with dudes too. It's not a gender exclusive thing, but I think people would be better off if people were honest, right? So if you were honest about that move, that might lead that individual to work on that move more and not necessarily think it's tremendous just because people want it to be nice and not hurt his feelings. So I mean, if somebody's doing cringy magic and they ask me, like, "Hey man, what's this? What do you think of this?" Uh, I don't mind saying like, "Dude, that's not necessarily good." And same thing with me. Like, if I'm doing something shitty, I expect somebody to do the same. When I was in Ohio, for example, I remember somebody approached me and showed me something, and I go, "Yeah, but why are you doing that? Like, what's the? I don't understand. What's the motivation?" And I think he got a little bit upset. And he was like, "What the fuck? I have this, I have that, whatever." And then same thing. I remember I was sitting down with a couple people, and this guy was doing like he was going through his Daniel Madison phase. So he has the same beard, the same haircut, and I was showing him my shitty bottom deal, and I go, "I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Like, how do I fix my finger placement?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's shit. Your bottom deal is shit." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. So what do I do to fix it?" And then he showed me, and he did his, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I kind of got the idea of that. But again, had he told me, "No, no, no, your bottom deal is great. That's a tremendous move," I wouldn't have had the motivation to try to better it and see what it is that I can improve in it. So I think that that's where a lot of issues lie in magic. That you have people doing subpar magic and getting praised. Like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, just because they have a high sub count or a high follower count. If it's shit, it's shit. No wonder you and X get along. I told he's big on being frank with people. Yeah, but we also have our disagreements. I feel like we also have our disagreements, which is always great. But I think that's part of it. I haven't talked to him in a while. I really do miss X. I wanted to go. I've been wanting to go to New York forever and hang out with him, but unfortunately, this whole COVID shit really fucked it up. Hungry and hungover. Do you have any take on Darwin Ortiz jumping Jen? And yeah, I have a couple. I have a couple different takes on it that I enjoy. I think I put him on the piggybacker side of the Academy stuff, and I think I even have one at the channel. But the problem with the jumping Gemini is not that it's a hard trick; is that the sequence is hard, right? Because you're left in certain situations where, if you do, for example, you might need to do a double lift, but you do a triple lift, or you do a triple lift and you need to do a double lift, or you need to do a Gemini count. So what's hard about those style routines is the sequence that you need to get the sequence down pat. And once you get that, then the trick is easy because it's just literally a sequence of double or triple lifts or displays, right? And what I love about that jumping Gemini is that the effect to the audience is every time and this is an interesting thing, especially when it comes to like color changing decks, they cannot process. I just heard like a fucking noise. They can't process where the cards are coming from, right? So you're showing two tens, right? Sorry, you're showing four tens. Then you show four fours. Then you show two tens and two fours and two tens, and then you show that's funny, two by fours, and then you show all the kings, and they just don't understand where the fuck the cards are coming from. The effect is that every time it's a new set of cards, obviously because you're just displaying one card as four. But to them, they see it as four distinctive color changes, which is just a tremendous thing. Top 10 trends says longtime watcher. Do you use the ding dong sponge balls? Yeah, it's over there, but I can't reach it. It's a little bit far away. My ding dong sponge balls. For the kids, I had a brain fart just now. Just remember, you still have many more years to go. That is true. Yeah, that is true and unfortunate. That you have many years to hone in. You don't have to hurry up on everything. That's why one of the things that I tell people when it comes to YouTube or the Academy or all this stuff is take your time. Right, it's gonna be there. Well, I mean, you're gonna pay, but take your time. Go through it and don't rush through things because if you rush through things, you're gonna end up doing a thousand things shitty as opposed to two things good or two things very well. Let's see this one. Could you rant about people who want to poke holes in your routine, like arbitrarily picking a card from imagination, and instead of basing it on what they see? Well, that I think is also your fault. That's also a wording thing. So you need to focus on your own wording as to how it is that you're presenting something, right? So if you're saying something like that, what is it that you're doing that could change that behavior from the audience? What is it that you're doing to reinforce that behavior from the audience? So that's, I think, something that you need to look at introspectively. However, what you did remind me of is the point that I made earlier about criticism, right? When it comes to tricks, there's a thing like there's a difference between giving somebody criticism and then being a cynical asshole just for the sake of it. And if something's good and you criticize, you're kind of a prick, right? But if something generally needs criticism and somebody's showing you a trick and it's not necessarily great, or somebody's showing you a move and there's not necessarily the best way that it could be done, and you lie on both ends, that's equally bad. So it's on both ends of the spectrum. It's not just on somebody's doing a trick, it's shitty, you tell them it's shitty. If it's good and you tell them it's shitty, that's not also good because that's not helping them out in the long run. And a lot of magicians also do that to satiate their egos. So it's there's a lot to it. So I just want to add that, and your point reminded me on that. I remember watching your card tutorials on my 2008 summer when I was bored. Happy to see you now. I'm not really flexing, by the way. So I'm not really, I'm just putting it here. So don't think, oh, look, Piggy says he works out and he has no muscles. I'm not flexing. Okay? So sit down. But hey, boy, hey, man, I'm glad that you've found other stuff, though. I'm glad that you found other stuff and not necessarily just the channel. That's a good thing. It's great that you don't necessarily that you move on. That's one thing that I've noticed a lot, especially looking back on the 5 year video that I just made and looking through like old stuff and looking through old comments. What I love is a lot of comments that I get from people that used to watch the videos are like, dude, I used to watch your videos, but then I got a girlfriend or I went to school or whatnot. And I'm like, good, you found something better to do. You found something way better to do than fucking just card tricks. So that's a good thing. What's your ethnicity? I'm Cuban and Egyptian. So I got both sand. Ooh, I almost said it. I almost said it. I almost ruined my hour challenge. But yeah, I'm Cuban and Arabic. So that's a fun combination that I have to deal with. It means that I'm dealing with sand all around. There's sand from the desert, there's sand from the beach. When my ancestors came here on an overturned refrigerator, swimming from Cuba to whatever fucking part they could land on. Thanks to Wet Foot Dry Foot. Thank you, Bill Clinton, for Wet Foot Dry Foot, dog. that's that's how a lot of my family's here. Jesus. Let's see. How do you react when people are saying that they know how you did the tricks, but it's not true? Well, that's another thing because then it's also an ego thing, right? So a lot of times people don't understand what it is that you're doing, and they are the type of individual that wants to have the attention on them. And for a moment in time, the attention isn't on them, right? And you see this a lot with uh, your friend groups where there's always that one person that turns it around, and whatever the story is, they go, "Yeah, but when I was," and it's like we weren't talking about your thing, like we weren't talking about your thing. So that's that individual. So how would you approach that particular thing as a person? You know, how would you approach somebody that said that as a person? And me personally, if somebody said, "Hey, man, I know exactly how you did that," have a conversation. How did I do that then? You know? Oh, I lifted two carts. How show me how I lifted two carts. I want to see it. I want to see what you're doing. Have a conversation with them. Fuck it. At the end of the day, we're here having experiences. We're here making connections with magic. And yeah, if they expose what you're doing, have a fucking conversation. Turn it on them. Make it a thing that they're there. You show me the trick then, right? So it's not a don't approach it thinking like a magician. Approach it thinking like a person. How would you engage with somebody socially in that context where you're talking about, for example, a building that collapsed, and they go, "Oh yeah, I remember my mom was in a building in Guatemala that collapsed once, and she met." It's like, "No, I didn't fucking ask you that. I was talking about the building that was going on and all that shit." So how would you do that? And most of the time, they're saying it just to say it. They don't say it because they know anything. So you could just turn it on them and have them do a trick or whatnot, or put the attention on them and see them fail and squirm, and then take the attention back on your own and do something good. Then if they throw your cards on the ground, then at that point you have to throw down, depending on the value of the cards. So if you're working with some cherries, and they go, "I know how you did that," and they throw it on the ground, well, at that point they got to answer, the law and order. They got to answer to your fist. And by fist, I don't mean the sexual maneuver. I mean it like the fist of the North Star. That's how I mean it. It's the most Masvidal looking thing you're gonna get in the stream. Oh man, I felt my heart fucking dying for a second there. Oh, these nuts. Honest question: do you think sleight of hand magic is dying out or being smaller in circles or losing its luster? I haven't seen any resurgence or popularity since Big Kick. That's funny. No, it's not. You see, even on social media, sleight of hand is still very popular, and some of these videos where these guys are, and again, I'm just comparing to what's available and present. But you have these videos of people doing exclusively sleight of hand magic, and it appealing to lay people and appealing to a mass audience. So it's not just for magicians. It's not just magic porn, essentially. So I don't think sleight of hand is going anywhere. Oh man, I really do think I have COVID. That are seasonal allergies, which for some reason are way down since COVID became prevalent. Oh man. But people need to want to be amazed. So okay, I already answered that. Let's see this one. JT says, "I know how you did that." Okay, how did I do that? You flipped it. If I had a time for it, literally every time the script played out. My favorite one is this one. You ready? My favorite one is this one. You want to see a trick? Okay. Yeah, I got one. Oh, I know this one. You know it? Okay. You don't have to see it then. That's cool. Now you ruined it for everyone. Good job. Good job. That's another fun one. I don't get it. I don't understand. What is this trick? Explain to me. There's something to do there. There's some meta thing in there, I'm sure. I'm I'm trying to think how we could turn that into a trick. Let's do like what do you call this? What did Turner tell me yesterday? Ew, I wanted to jam some ideas. I wanted to jam some ideas, so give me a call sometime. We should do a jam here, right? So you take your deck, you take your deck out, right? Open it up. You're about to take the cards out, and somebody says, "Show me something." Or no, somebody says, "Oh, I know this trick." So what can you do at this point to subvert expectation, right? So what you could do at this point? Obviously, you could make a joke of it and say, "Well, okay, all right. If you've seen it, then whatever. I guess we're not gonna do it because you've seen it." Everybody say thank you to Jeremy for ruining the trick. Thank you, Jeremy. And you turn that into a little bit of a joke. Or what could you do? What can you do? So you're in this case, right? Somebody says, "Oh, I've seen this before." Now, Paul Harris's vanishing deck comes to mind, right? Because imagine if you have the cards prepared, in this case, and you take them out. You're doing the Paul Harris vanishing deck, and you go, "Oh, you've seen this?" And then at that point, you could turn that into a moment because you make the deck vanish, and you go, "Well, I guess we won't need the deck then," and you can make the deck vanish. That's a way that could work, right? Um, but then imagine you'd have to be how fucking psychotic would you have to be? Because you would have to have, unless you already have the Paul Harris vanishing deck gimmick on your deck at all times, you would have to have it specifically for the instances where somebody says, "I know this trick," and you go, "Oh, okay, all right, then I guess we won't need the deck," and you make the deck vanish with the Joker. So that could be one way of doing it. Um, I have to sit on that, but I'm sure that that's a wonderful moment. Or you could just jump him. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. You take the cards out and they go, "Oh, I've seen this," and you go, "Okay," and then you just fucking running knee the shit out of him in his stupid face, and you go, "Did you see that coming, huh? Did you see that one before, buddy?" That's tremendous. Let's go through these here. Um, oh man, yeah, that'd be the best one. Just jump them, go full. Oh, I almost said it. I almost said it. How long have we been streaming? Has it been an hour already? I've almost said it 4 or 5 times. Boy, it's hard. Man, it's like our periods down here. Thoughts on sucker tricks? I recently come to love them. If I'm performing a drunk divergence matching the cards is 100% my favorite sucker trick. They're great, but you could definitely only do them once a set. Because imagine if you are doing a sucker trick every trick, right? And you go, like let's say you're doing what's the famous one? The famous one is Dunbury card, right? Dunbury's card, where you go, "Oh, these cards are gonna tell me everything that I need to know about your card." And then let's say your card's the five of spades. You go, right here, the five of spades tells me that your card was a black card, right? Your card was a black card. You're right. Yeah, it was a black card. Okay, let's see. This next one tells me that your card was a high card. Don't lie. I mean, sorry. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. All right. But this tells me your card was a high card. And lastly, this one tells me the location of your card. This one tells me the location of your card. I fucked it up, by the way. I fucked it up. This one tells me what your card is. Fuck. Yeah, I fucked it up. But obviously, it would be a sucker trick because you have the five of spades and they look and the five of spades not there. Right? You get the point. But imagine you do a trick like that and then the next trick is a sucker trick. And then the trick after that's a sucker trick. And then the trick after that's a sucker trick. At that point, you can only do so many sucker tricks before they suck you off. And by suck you off, I don't mean how we started this stream, which is talking about how I saw a hooker crackheads suck off a guy, but they'll suck you off, like sock you off in the 1890s sort of way. Let's see what else we have here. Let me go back because I know I skipped some that were quite good. Opinions on Darwin Ortiz. I like him. Some people think he's boring, but I think you could take a lot of his stuff and really work with them. So I'm a huge fan of Darwin Ortiz. You painted your wall green just for that? No, this is a green screen. This is like one of these portable green screens. I don't want to touch it because then it falls back on me. But yeah, I didn't paint the wall. That'd be nuts, right? That'd be nuts. Although technically, I didn't pay deposit, so I could do anything I want. Um, let's see. So good to talk to people who understand me. Thanks, you guy. Thank you, Richard Nogue. I thought your name might have been like a play on something for a second there, but thank you. I mean, thank you. You're welcome, but thank you. Ouija board magic are amazing for mind fucking people. Ouija board magic. Uh, what I was trying to think of a thing that I saw on TikTok recently, where a garbage man saw a Ouija board in a the garbage, like the box for Ouija board, and then he threw away all the other garbage, but left the Ouija board in there. So when the person opens up the thing, it's back, like in the movie. Windows summary. What happened here? It says your device was scanned 2 times and did not find any viruses. That's right, because porn is online now. I don't have any viruses on my computer because I don't have to go through LimeWire to download porn. Mm. Oh boy. Let's see. Any ideas on using a pendulum for a magic trick, like how muscle movement theory works? Doc Hilford has a couple good ideas. Really, anything could be used with the pendulum. Any effect could have a pendulum in it as the modus operandi to the spectator. So if you have, for example, a bunch of slips, right? Like speaking of like little billets that I have, let's say you're doing the dead test, right? The dead or alive test, or another variation of that. You could just use a pendulum for that. So the pendulum guides you to the right one. And what's great is that you could interpret it however it is that you want. So if the pendulum is moving in a certain way, you could go, oh, this one, the pendulum tells me that that one's special. Oh, this one's not special. And of course, all you're doing is just reading the marks on the billets to let you know whichever one is the right one. But pendulum stuff is great if you're not overusing it. So it's very easy to overuse it just because it's literally free magic, right? They're literally holding it. Say think circle and it moves in a circle. Think line and it moves in a line. It's easy to want to use that over and over again because it's a visceral effect. It takes no effort and it's something that happens in their own hands. So you don't want to abuse it. Just 1 or 2 times I think is enough for that. When you first started doing tutorials, what tags and categories did you put for YouTube? It's hard as fuck to get views. Yeah. I've noticed that I feel like no matter what, my channel's kind of fucked at this point. And I wanted to do an experiment put um, where I put the same psychic video on a brand new channel. Like I started a brand new channel and I put that magician reacts to psychics on TikTok or fake psychics on TikTok. I wanted to put that on a brand new channel and see the engagement that I get on that versus the engagement that I get on this channel. And I feel like I might get more engagement and more pull and more view on the new one than I would on this old one. So I might do that and see how to do what the effect is on that. So I don't know. It's kind of shitty, but in my experience, tags don't really matter. What matters the most is thumbnail. Thumbnail is what matters the most. So you need to spend a good portion of time on the thumbnail and make sure that it's something that you would click, right? The other one is, be your own subscriber, right? So be your own subscriber. I treat like whenever I do stuff on the academy and stuff on Patreon, I go in it as if I'm a viewer, right? So I go to the website, I see it, I pretend to subscribe. I go through the process of putting in the card, going to the little different tiers and seeing which one, and I pretend like I'm a viewer and I'm interested in finding a certain trick. How do I go about that? How easy is that? And being your own subscriber, you'll find that there are certain things that are redundant that you could take out, and you could find that there are certain things that might appeal to a subscriber that you weren't necessarily thinking of because you were thinking creatively. So try to think of it as how somebody that isn't familiar with your content, how would they go about looking at your content? And you do this a lot, and I think realizing it is definitely one thing that you could do. Like for example, when you watch a YouTube video, keep track of your habits. Be aware of your habits. When you exit a YouTube video, why did you exit the video? Think to yourself, why did I leave that video? When you're watching one of your own videos, I find myself that when I'm looking at my own videos just to see what it is that, to make sure that the video that's going up is good or at least, edited correctly, no mistakes and shit. I'll go through it, and when I stop paying attention, I'll go, okay, wait, why did I stop paying attention? Right. So I think, what did I do to stop paying attention? Did I have a shot that was too long? Was I not engaging enough? Did I not have a funny thing or a cutaway or something? So that's a good one to have. My fucking throat is from all the cock. Mm. Oh boy. Let's see. Renzio says, as a non-magic viewer, I could tell you that I like your tutorials, but I enjoy your content that allows me to see more. CP magicians. You mean the most attractive magicians? Is that the one you're talking about? Where I talked about the most attractive magicians? Is that the one? Jim Pace being number one. I find it funny because somebody made an account called Jim Pace and leaves comments on my videos now. So every time I go, hey man, you're that fire wallet guy that likes anal with children. I would have zoomed in there too, but I couldn't zoom in. I wish I had an app that would control that, right? But the live streams on YouTube on the phone are atrocious. Like, there's no way for me to be able to go here and then zoom in here, and then that correlates to the phone. Oh, it's shitty to find, and the ones that do work, they're like app or co-host. Well, even if I had a co-host here, he would fuck it up and be like, "Oh, sorry, I was texting on my phone. I was just I was just looking at like lens filters. Can't have enough lens filters, for pictures of hubcaps." Let's see. Let me go through this. I'm trying to say less, and I'm trying to say but less. I say but a lot, and I say way too much, and I don't want to sound like a fucking valley girl. Have you ever punched someone for fucking up your trick? No. Jesus, that's assault, my friend. And I'm not gonna do 10 to 25 to prove a point. Let's go through back here and see if there's anything. Have you checked out the Dark Horse podcast? Eric Weinstein is an interesting character. I've seen it. And from my understanding, he got demonetized recently. He's a liberal. He's a very liberal-minded guy. And he got popular for being on Evergreen College. He was a professor at Evergreen. And they had a day where they wanted to have a day where it was only blacks that were attending, right? So they only had African Americans or people of color. And he's like, no, fuck. I work here. I'm going to show up. And he had a whole back and forth. And he had another controversy recently on this other app, which was a fun one to look at. But he's an interesting character. He's definitely an interesting character, and a very smart cat. He's a smart cat, which is funny. But he has a personality of plaster. Let's see who asked me that. What do I think of Dark Horse? Who asked me that? Fuck. I just skipped it. But he's a dope guy. Bill Cosby's free, yeah, on a technicality. Could you imagine, right? All the cord and the whole rigmarole, and this guy's like, there's that famous video of him walking out the court and then doing this and looking back. Now he's doing that back at his house, all on a technicality because of a shitty DA. What's the worst effect you've ever seen advertised? Says 6 James. Oh man, COVID. I've seen a lot on Penguin, and Penguin's like a download store, like the ones where pretty much you could put anything you want. They don't have any quality control when it comes to the stuff they upload there. And there was one that I saw that was like a fucking bite Rubik's Cube, right? And the thing is that I really can't shit on it because it was a kid, like a 13-year-old kid that published it. And it was a Rubik's Cube, and the effect was that you bit or you took off one of the edges and you put it in your mouth and then you spit it back on the Rubik's Cube. But the method is literally this. Puh. But with a Rubik's Cube. $5.95. So, but there's a lot. And I hate the fact that video editing is more accessible now than ever. Right? So you have people that come up with these trailers that are so over the top for a fucking card trick, that's just ridiculous, and they keep doing it. And they go, with this trick, you're going to be the life. They always have an accent, by the way, it's hysterical. They go, let's try to name the trick. Aquos. right? They'll be like, with Aquos, you be the life of the party. Aquos is a very simple effect. You take a water bottle and you take the cap of the bottle and you have the spectator sign their name on the cap of the bottle, and then the cap is then turned into a card that the spectator has freely selected in a previous trick, and then the card ends up inside of the bottle, and it's instant resets, and they have this fucking like zoom ins and these punch outs and these fucking just transitions and the Inception soundtrack in the back, and they zoom into the bottle, right? And there's some like attractive woman laughing, going, "Oh my god, he turned the cap of the bottle into a card, a cat, and then the card is in the bottle, and then the bottle turns into a card." What? You know, that's gonna be on that's gonna be on Magic Stream within a month. So watch out for that. Watch watch out for Aquos on Magic Stream. That's fucking tremendous. Um, you did a tutorial on YouTube and you said you do a false cut and then flip the camera off, and I fucking died. I don't remember that. What are you talking about? Is that real? What video was that? You said I did a false cut and then flipped the camera off. Yeah, I believe that. Can I solve a cube? No, I can't solve a cube. I tried to learn, but I'm like, no, I like pussy. I like vagina. I don't want to do this because they could smell that on you. They could smell that on you. They go, you could solve a cube, can you? You go, yeah, I can, man. I'm sorry. I think Steve Brundage is the only person that could get away with doing a cube and getting laid. Uh, is that Hannibal Buress on your profile picture, Blackjack? If Aquos was actually made, I would buy it. That's a great idea. That's not a great idea. My goodness. What would it be? Let me see. Let me go back in that whole fucking diatribe. So a bottle is signed. A water bottle is signed. The cap is signed. Then the cap turns into a playing card that was previously freely selected and signed. Everything's signed. That's another trope that magicians have that I fucking hate. It's like, okay, so here, I just got an idea for a video. I think like a bit in a video, which would be funny. It's dumb, but it's like a magic trope. Like four people would get it and laugh and be like, "Oh, okay," but like you know how magicians are like sign everything. Okay, so take the card and sign the card, and then okay, so take the card and sign the deck, and then do me a favor, take this marker and then sign the marker. I think that'd be funny if you have somebody sign the Sharpie. Yeah, you said it. Sign the fucking Sharpie. How dope would that be? Oh fuck me. That would be hysterical. You go, okay, so do me a favor, sign the card, sign the coin. All right. And then you take out another Sharpie and you go, okay, great. Now sign the Sharpie. Do me a favor and sign the Sharpie. And then you hold the Sharpie, right? Ah, I think four people would laugh. Four magicians would be like, huh. Not even a full laugh, just a smirk, like a, I get it. we have them sign everything. So wait, Aquos. So let's go back to Aquos. So the cap that's signed turns into the playing card that was previously picked, and then the cap ends up inside of the bottle. You know what? That's actually not fucking bad. That's actually not bad. Okay, so the cap that was signed turns into the playing card, and then the cap ends up inside of the bottle that it was taken from. Okay. Man, okay, that's not bad now. Fuck. You know, I was trying to come up with like a shitty over the top trick. And honestly, I think that wouldn't be that bad because imagine, like, let's say you had a card picked earlier on, right? It could be anything. I don't think it has to be a card. Maybe it could be a coin. Or, it would be dope if it's like somebody's ring that you took earlier and you made it vanish. Like maybe you put in like flash paper and you went, oh, well, that went wrong. Um, how about I show you a water bottle trick, and then you do it with the water bottle, and then the cap turns into the ring, and then the signed cap ends up in the water bottle. That's actually not bad. That's not bad. I was trying to come up with an over the top shitty trick, but I think I actually came up with it. Don't tell me Ramsey did it first. Suck my dick. I'll do it better. Fuck off. Ramsey already did it. Ramsey had somebody sign the Sharpie? Ah, that fucking Canadian. Stop. No, he fucking didn't. In what video did Ramsey have somebody signed a Sharpie? God fucking damn it. Nothing. You can't think of anything anymore. Uh, by the way, I wrote down a point here. I wrote down a couple points for the live stream that I haven't gone through. Um, but I need to go through these because these are things that I want to mention here. That's like, how do you do how to just never reappears in a ring and just walk away? Yeah, just do that to steal rings, right? Just be like, oh, your ring's gone. Or, no, sorry, your ring's gone. I remember there was a magician that he had a vanish of a ring. I forgot what his name was, but he kept putting like fucking uploads on he kept selling like weird tricks, and then he would make a trick vanish, a ring vanish, like this. Fuck. Sorry about that. He'd put the ring vanish, and he'd hold his hand like this, right, showing his hand to be empty, and that's how he made the ring vanish. I remember seeing that and dying, as to the logic. Oh no, I'm just gonna put my. This is how I could do it, right? Let me see. Hold up, I'm covering it. I think that would look better, right? Oh look, I made a vanish. Aquos is already real. No, it's fucking not. No, it's not. All right, stop. That's not a real thing. I'm gonna put a link to the video. Put the end of it. So, for example, where it says YouTube, watch, and then the equals part, put whatever's after the equal on the chat. If you have the video of Ramsey signing the Sharpie. Fuck. God, everything's already made, man. So hold up. All right, so here's something weird that happened to me, right? I went to the corner store, and I don't understand this. This is why I love Cuban men, though, right? People don't seem to understand what it is that's so charming about Cuban men, but they're like it's almost like they're all your grandfather. So I went to the corner store, and I walked by this guy who's having a lemonade, and he goes, "Hey man, you like lemonade?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Okay, well, can you do me a favor and throw away the bottle for me?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah." He was gonna give me the lemonade that he had left. Had I said yes, he's like, "Oh, you could have it then." And then I come out, and he tells me, "It's like, hey, did you see this shit?" Like a whole conversation. We have a whole conversation about like news and shit. I'm like, "Hey man, cuídate." And then I fucking get away, but I'm like, so this dude, without even knowing me, offered me the remaining lemonade that he had, which by the way is gross, right? But it's still a nice gesture because he wanted to give me, essentially, if he didn't want to waste it. If I like lemonade, he's like, here, take it. He didn't see the logic in his head that that's gross to share a fucking drink. But the gesture was nice enough. We have a whole conversation about like shit that's going on, and then it's like, hey man, see, it's like a I like that. I like that vibe, and I feel like we don't have enough of that now. Everyone, you can't. You assume immediately that everybody has an ulterior motive, right? I don't know how many times I've fallen prey to going to Barnes and Nobles, and some girl waves at you, right? Some chick waves at you, and then you go, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And she goes, "Hi, do you have a moment to talk about the environment?" I'm like, "No, I fucking don't. No, I don't. You waved at me under false pretenses, and that should be illegal. That should be illegal. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna wait till you fucking your shift is over. I'm gonna wait till you get into your Honda Civic, and I'm gonna find you and self defense you just for that false pretense you gave me. But I hate that. Everybody always has an ulterior motive, and it's weird to see somebody genuine. It's weird to see somebody genuine. Maybe he wanted my manhole. Maybe he wanted my manhole. Who knows? But at least the normal conversation that I had was decent, and we don't have enough of that in society. We need more of that. So I don't know why I wrote that. Do you collect Pokemon cards? I don't. I wanted to sell them, but I was too lazy to get them graded. Why a Honda? It could be a Nissan. That's true. It could be a Nissan, like a Nissan Altima with bad transmission, leaking fluid. That makes more sense. That's so hot though. I find that to me, if you're a chick and you have a car that's like a conservative car, and you're driving like a Honda Civic that's like a little bit louder than it needs to be, the oil hasn't been changed in like, you went 500 over the miles to change the oil. Oh, that's so much better than like a chick driving like a fucking Mercedes or a Tesla or Beamer, right? An Audi. Like no, 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 no. I want a chick driving like a Volkswagen, like a base Volkswagen where you have to or you have to fucking pull up the window. That's what I want. That's attractive to me. I don't want a girl that's like, oh yeah, I'm, she drives her what do you call this? Her fucking what's the Sam Hyde video? QX90 or QX80, her Infinity QX or QV, whatever the fuck that car was. That's what I want. I want a girl that drives a Ford Freestyle. That's hot to me. If you're a girl and you drive a Ford Freestyle, oh boy, that's the sort of bombastic car that I want women to drive, and not these Beamers. That's like, oh, all right, great, yeah, you're not working. You come from money. I mean, obviously, she could have earned it. She could have bought it, but I don't want that. I don't want to take a chance. I want a girl that's grinding. I want a girl on the grind. Have you got Silent Assistant? Is that the wallet, or is Silent Assassin the wallet? Because if it's Silent Assistant and it's not a wallet, no, I don't have it. But if it's Silent Assassin and it's a wallet, I do have it. Oh, fuck me. I make a point to smile and say good morning every time I walk with Houdini, which through my FCAT implication skills, I could assume it's your dog. I think people need to initiate friendly chat with strangers too. Yeah, I find myself smiling at people and nodding, and if they have a cool shirt, I'll be like, "Hey man, cool shirt," right? I saw somebody the other day with like an earring that I liked. It's gonna sound a little bit gay, but the earring from Howl's Moving Castle, which I'm interested in purchasing for myself. And I go, oh, that's the earrings from House Moving Castle. And she goes, oh my God, yeah. But I felt that there was an apprehension because she probably thought that I was like flirting with her. No, I wasn't. I was complimenting your fucking earrings, right? But there's always, people always have like a thought that it's going to be an ulterior motive. Oh, I'm complimenting something because I want something from you. No, no, I'll just let it be. All right, let it be. And I think we need more of that. It's like a PK ring. No, 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 I don't have that. I have what do you call this? Is it really a finger? Stop. Silent Assassin was a Sans Mine version of the Raven, but looked like a finger. No, I actually have a PK ring, but I've never used it. It's black. I don't have black rings. Like on my jewelry, as DJ Khaled says, is silver. So I don't know why I bought a black ring, but it was a PK ring. I remember I bought it in I think New York when I went. Actually, no, I bought it in Vegas from a magic store that's now defunct. But I bought it there. I'm like, I just want to buy something from you, man. I want to support you. And what do you have that's like relatively good, that's not too expensive? And he goes, oh, we have the rings. I'm like, let me get one of those. So I remember going there, and I got the. I never wore it, but it's a black ring. I mean, if it was a silver ring, maybe. But I'm all about that silver jewelry. Magic Orthodoxy says Stealth Assassin is the wallet. Of course you would know. Of course you would know, because you, my friend, probably have 17 copies of it. Good to see you. Good to see you on the chat, Dad. Right, I'm the son that you never expected. Like after a long loss, for some reason, your Arabic Cuban son, me. That's me, and you refuse to acknowledge me, which is okay. I get it. Do you know what's the most expensive video streaming service at this time? I'm not sure. The most expensive video streaming service. What do you mean by expensive video streaming service? Magic Orthodoxy says maybe 7. Yeah, I find that that's another bad thing when it comes to like another habit that magicians have, that it's just based on marketing. Like every single time there's a wallet, you have to get it. It's because you're like, oh, what if this is the one? We're always searching for that nut, right? We're searching for that golden nut, and every wallet might be the one, right? You have this recent wallet that Murphy's came out with that does everything, and you go, that might be the nut, right? That might be the golden nut, the best wallet, the only wallet I ever need. But then another one comes up, and you're like, oh, I don't need this one anymore. So I used to have, I would carry around the Hip Pocket Mullica, which I think I have it over there. But then I realized, you know what? No, no, I'm just gonna have my standard piggy wallet, which is just a standard one. I've got another one coming in the mail. I believe it. I believe it. Which one? I've never had a PK ring, but I had a thought. If you pulled your wallet out with the hand that it was, will it fuck up your credit card? I don't think so anymore. I don't think so. I feel like that's not I don't think, maybe a hotel key. But I think with cards now, they have so many ways of using them with the chip and the tap and the swipe that I don't think you could fuck it up. But I'm not sure. I know there used to be an old trick back in the day where you had a magnet in your wallet or in your pocket, and you would take a hotel card, right? And you would go, all right, I'm gonna see if I could magically destroy the card, and then you'd clean it on your shirt or clean it on the pants, but it's actually you're wiping it on the magnet, and then you go, go ahead, try it. It's not gonna work, and they try it and it doesn't work because you ruined it. But I don't know if that works anymore. Is that a Budweiser symbol? Yeah, this is a wife beater that I got in PacSun. That I saw it and I'm like, I have to have it. I have to have it just because. It's called Climax Wallet by Surya Kumar, a name that if I say too many times, my furniture would start levitating. A joke that I stole from Reddit and I use almost on a weekly basis. Oh, let's go through here. Let's see what else. In the UK, our coins aren't magnetic, so I've never had much use for the Raven. Any better use for it than coins? Well, most watches now, unfortunately, people wear Apple watches. I still wear Seikos and fake. What do you call this? Fake AP Royal Oak. I have a fake AP that I wear too. From afar, I'd be like, "Oh man, it's an AP," but then you look up close and you're like, "Oh, it's not." Okay, I'd like the band on it. All right, I didn't get it with the intent of faking that I had an AP. I just like the band on it because the band is fairly interesting. But before you could actually use a magnet and it would stop the mechanism on those watches, and you could seemingly stop a watch, right? You could also do that and fake it by pulling out the stem of the watch, and if they're focused on it, your thumb is covering it. You could see that the second hand stopped, right? So that's a way that you could do it. And you could use a ring for that. The whatever fake magnet ring. There's a bunch of stuff that you could do. I mean, you could get magnetic coins, but if you get magnetic coins, it's a little bit hard because it could actually break the ring. I've heard that being a massive issue with those things that if it clicks and it hits too hard, you can't drop one of the rings because it's a magnet. Let's see. Pigcakee is the better channel for three reasons. I don't know why. There's always three reasons. Number one, funny. Number two, useful. And number three, interactive with subscriber. Subscriber. Appreciate that, Richard Nogue. Richard Nogue. I don't know why I called you Richard. The Silent Assassin looks pretty dope. Actually, it's padded, no clink, cup around the inner pad of the finger, kind of like Tarantula, but actually smaller. What I had and I bought years ago, this was when I had to convince my mom to get me magic tricks back in the day. I had, it's a thing called subterfuge that I used to pronounce subterfuge because I was a retard. Oh, Pigcakee, you're still a retard. Fuck you. Okay. So I used to have this thing, and it was called subterfuge. And what it was it was a ring, and it couldn't give you. I mean, it literally you had to get like the ring always gave you green finger, just because it was a magnetic ring. It wasn't a magnet, but it was magnetic. And what you had was a pad, right? So it was like a pad this big that had felt on it that was had a magnet in it, and you had another pad that was underneath your pants wherever you felt comfortable, right? And this thing was fucking retarded, but the hype behind it was crazy. The hype was like, oh my god, this is the best thing to the Raven. Yeah, there you go. Subterfuge 2.0 magic system. The one that I had, I think, was a 1.0. Terrible. But it was a ring, and then what you would do is that you would show the coin, right, with the metal core, and you would have the ring, and you would steal one of the pads. So you would steal the pad that was above, and you'd have to wear black, by the way. That was the problem. You had to wear black because it blended in with the black of your whatever that you were wearing. And you would take it and you would hit it, and it would disappear. And then you'd have to swipe it, deposit the magnet, right, on the other magnet, and then now you could show both hands empty. Fuck. And I remember convincing my mother, I'm like, no, 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 I need it. I need it. I need it, mom. You don't get it. I need to have subterfuge. Again, it's the worst thing. And you would never not get nickel, like the nickel poisoning thing, or whenever you put a shitty ring on, uh, where you get that green, you would always get it with that. But of course, David knows exactly, right? Crazy. I imagine your knowledge of magic products is way more than anybody else ever needs to have. Like your knowledge of magic products is just ridiculous. Like no one in the planet needs to have that much knowledge over magic products, but you have that. You possess it. Nathan says fake Rolex from the Hood store. Let's go. Well, I have my shitty watch collection here. I could bring it up. Oh, yeah. Now you could see the magic getting ruined of the stream. I'm sitting down. All right. See if I can do this. So this is where I keep my watches. Right. This is where I keep them. And as you can see, it's a varied collection. All right. Let me strap this one in. So let's go over my fucking terrible watches here. Right? Look at how ghetto. You have like Peter McKinnon. Like, look at my watch collection, and it's a bunch of like nice, old, vintage, and new Seikos. You look through my collection, and it's like gas station shit, right? So you have a fake. This is a fake Casio, right? So this is literally a fake Casio that I got from Wish.com for 17 cents, and it's never gonna die. Essentially, it's one of these fake Casio classic 80s stuff. This is an Android Wear, right? That I bought from Daniel for $99, just so I could have a watch that I could do inject with, because I'm a retard. And then this is, if you look at it from afar, oh, is that an AP? No, it's a Face. The brand called Face that I got on Amazon because I like the bracelet, right? So I just literally like the bracelet. And then my favorite watch, which is the Seiko with a bezel that I bought from a company called Long Island Watches, I think. I follow them on YouTube. They're great. But it's literally a bezel that's designed to fake the Pepsi Rolex. So, not even a real Pepsi Rolex. Literally a fake Faco. I call it the Faco just because it's a real Seiko, right? It's a Seiko, but with the Pepsi Rolex bezel on it that I took out the old one and I put the new one in, and it's ceramic. So that's the one that I have, like a retard, like a retard. And the worst part is I never wear any of these. I only wear this one, right here. With, by the way, the fake what is it? It's the bracelet. I forgot what the name of this one is called, right? But they all have names, and they had to give it a fake name so that they wouldn't get sued by Rolex. But I forgot the name of it of that particular type of band. But they have the other standard band, which is kind of like this one, and then they have this band. If one of you guys are watch retards, you probably know what the name of it is. But what's the name of that band that's on this one? I'm sure one of you guys know. I forgot. I knew it, but I forgot what it was. My watch collection consists of a single 3-inch thick dive watch with a cracked screen. Yeah, that's what most people have. But I just like the Seiko. I like the look of it. I like an old, nice, not a fucking quartz watch. Let's see. Can you do some African clicking noises for me? Tumbatu. That's all you're gonna get from me. My watch is a Pixel 2. You mean like like an actual Pixel phone that you put on your wrist, like you're some sort of a quarterback? If you got the right clothes for your jewelry, and a pimp cane could be good magic. Pimpin'. Well, yeah, I like jewelry. I like jewelry, as DJ Khaled would say it, but none of the jewelry is functional. I used to hear that this ring could actually work as a holdout. And I bought a ring years ago from Magic Makers Inc., which was, I think, COVID, the worst ring I've ever bought in my entire life. It turned my finger green, and it was this ring. It was an M ring, but with a twist in it, right? I think the person that came out with it was Ben Salinas or something like that. And part of the DVD talked about using the ring as a holdout, but it wouldn't fucking work. I'm like, you guys are liars, Rob Stiff. You lied to me. So I remember reading it that you could technically use it as a as what do you call this? As a holdout. I mean, that could work, right? Terribly, but that could work. So if you want to have a coin under there. So I remember reading that this ring had a function. That's not true. Look at that. Well, okay, maybe you could show your hands, right? Not doing one of these, but then it's obvious where it came from. Maybe. Are you going to Magi Fest? Nope, I don't think I'm going to Magi Fest this year. I mean, just because if it was in a better city, I would. but I don't want to ride the creepy plane to Ohio from here and have the experience that I had last time, man. That plane was fucking traumatizing. It's like a small plane. It kept shaking, and then when the guy landed, he had to like. It was like Parkinson's. It was the visual representation of Parkinson's in plain form. And also, I'm being cheap. Pepsi Rolexes are about 15 G. I imagine you meant to write K. Yeah, I know, right? So Seiko, that Seiko I think was about 150 bucks, and the bezel was about 40 bucks. So I rather have the Seiko that I could, if it ever breaks or if it ever gets stolen or if I lose it, I'll feel good about it. Whereas if I even ding a $15,000 watch, I want to end my existence permanently. Let's see this one. What do you think is the best force to do magicians? Not for magicians. I don't know because you're not gonna have any force that you're not gonna have any force that fools them. But the one that people seem to be obsessed with is the classic force. That's the one that magicians tend to be obsessed with. Is the classic one. So they're always obsessed, I guess, because it's the most technically the most fair. You're spreading through, you have them pick a card. But I mean, there's so many other ways that are, I think, more versatile. Any magician that does the classic force well will tell you that it's 100% surefire that they get it each and every single time. I still don't like it. I still don't like it. I prefer the touch force by Gary Roulette. I think that that's a wonderful one. I enjoy that one, right? I think that's a great versatile force. John Bannon has some wonderful work on that. I have some good stuff on that too. Not to suck my own penis, but I'm a fan of that. Classic Force sucks. I prefer using a full than using a full to control the cards. You mean coal and you mean cards. It'd be a little bit hard to use a full to control car, unless you're Vin Diesel. But I think that's the stream. I think this has been a good stream. We've had a good one. We've talked about stuff. We've gone over magic. We've gone over what else? Life, right? Started talking about my first 5 years doing YouTube, and hopefully it's not gonna end anytime soon. I'm gonna keep doing videos, right? No matter what. And if you want to stop me, try and stop me. Okay? What are you gonna do, huh? Let's be honest. You're doing cardistry, right? You're gonna approach me in some magic. What do you call this? It's some magic convention and say, I don't like what you said. No, you're not. You're not gonna do that. And if you do, you know what? I'll accept it. I'll like it because then you at least have the cojones to be like, hey, I don't like you, and I don't like those videos that you put out. I'll be like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is the sort of language that I'm talking about. Okay. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching, man. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I'll do another one next week. Maybe Monday. I didn't realize it was Thursday already. But the next videos that are coming up, just to give you previews, is cringe magic and the number one thing you can do to improve your magic in less than a second. So that's literally the next two videos that are coming up. Also, I have a tutorial for a little fun way of making a napkin vanish without a thumb tip. So without a thumb tip, it's supposed to mime a thumb tip. But apart from that, now I have to go. By the way, this is a production. I end every live stream having to do this, where I go to the phone and have to turn it off, right? And it's fucking terrible because you kind of see the behind the scenes, right? Look at this. Do you think this is something that you should be seeing? No, I should be able to end the stream from where I'm sitting professionally. But let me tell you, man, there's nothing professional about this channel. Here's to 100 more years of pig cake videos. 100 more years, non-stop. I'm trying to steal that Rick and Morty bit from, I think, the first season. 77 seasons of pig cake. We're not ending. All right? It's never going to end. Try and stop me with your pipe cardistry arms. Okay? Try and stop me. You can't stop me. You cut packets, dude. Do a push-up. One single push-up. Okay? Come at me in a convention, do a push-up, and then say, you suck. That's what I want. That's what I'm talking about. Not this, let me just stay from afar and say something that I wouldn't say in real life. 100 years of pig cake. I'm not stopping. I'm a crazy train, my friend. I'm a crazy train. He'll get canceled. We don't need to stop. Try and cancel me, Susan Wojcinski. You can't cancel that. That is uncancelable, right? The destrucity that will come your way is immense. Destrucity is a word. Look it up. Invented by Jim Hellwig, Ultimate Warrior, who passed away not so long ago, came up with that word, destrucity, and I'm using it here. I'm gonna end the stream. I think that's a good one. Stay safe.